That's a near miss. That is a big near miss. And 2.5 seconds is the gap, and this is the margin front to back in the battle that counts.
And Craig Lowndes is getting closer and closer. He's just set the fastest sector time to the second sector. The gap now is 2.5 seconds back to Lowndes. So Winterbottom leads Whincup. Jason Bright in third, and Lowndes has just done the fastest lap of the race. A 2:10.95. Here he comes.
Where did he pull that from? He's 4 seconds from the lead of the race.
Mate, pull the second on my front. 16 laps to go.
And he's 2.2 seconds behind Bright. And there he is. And there we are. And the weather continues to close in from the west.
Wow.
11.8, 11.8, 12 dead, 10.9. Unbelievable. A second faster than the lead cars.
And incidentally, Prio in car 10's just outside the top 10. He's 11th at the moment. Van Gisbergen is 10. Scotty McLaughlin on his second Bathurst endeavours, 9th at the moment. But it's so hard to take your eyes away from what's going on up front. And look at this man. He's an evergreen. Year in and year out. 8 times in the last 10 years, this man has been on the podium. He's got 5 Bathurst victories to his credit. He lights the crowd up wherever he goes, and Lowndes is on the charge.
Don't you worry, Croppo. Garth Tander's also going with him on the first sector there. Tander was actually the fastest of them all. He's 1/10 faster than Craig Lowndes. So have a look at the second sector. He's 1/10 faster than any of them. He's done a 28.7.
Yeah, so Tander was actually the quickest guy of the top 5 to the second intermediate at Forest Elbow. Fresh tyres. Nothing like having some grip at your disposal. So now it's all about the equivalent of stringing together a bunch of qualifying laps. Mistake-free, millimetre perfect. We've seen Whincup flinch at the top. He's just got to gather that all back up again now. What are the margins and what are the lap times? 2:11.8 for Winterbottom, 2:11.9 for Whincup, a 12 even for Bright, 11.2 for Lowndes and Tander. The guys that are in 4th and 5th are going off at the moment. 3.4 seconds race lead to Craig Lowndes, and just behind is Garth Tander. That's on Mountain Straight, just beyond the hump. 260 kilometres an hour. 5th gear, they get back to 3rd gear here for the right-hander. Dramatically uphill, 130 k's in the middle. They build back to 190 kilometres an hour right here on the run to the cutting. And then the real climb begins. This is where the complexity kicks in. Right there is where it all went wrong for Greg Murphy early in the day.
This lap back in 2007 was when it all went wrong for Mark Winterbottom at the Chase.
Whincup had the thing fully floating over the top of the skyline then. He had the 2 inside wheels off the deck, and he basically rally-car'd over the top of the hill.
Tander has just done the fastest first sector of the race. The 53.16. In fact, he's 3/10 faster than any of the top 4 cars. Let's give the second sector right now. There he is.
Last time through, he was 4.8 seconds from the lead of the race in the Holden Racing Team entry. There he is. It's a 5-way battle, and not far beyond that, there's David Reynolds as well.
You can never ride this guy on.
Absolute commitment at the end of Conrod.
Tander 7/10 quicker, a 28.3 to that second intermediate versus Winterbottom at 29.0. Bright's the one at the moment that looks slightly vulnerable. He was the slowest to the second timing reference on this lap, and Lowndes is now starting to line him up.
11.6, 11.5, 12.1, 11.4, 10.53 for Tander. New lap record. He's 1 second faster than Winterbottom and Whincup.
Wow.
9/10 on Lowndes and 1.6 on Bridie that lap.
This is cool.
Cool. This is the best operators in the best cars at the best racetrack at our grand final with a whole lot going.
And I always admire the way these guys perform on the big stage. There's just the way they do it year in and year out. They play themselves into this position at the end of the day and then they box on. And there's nothing left on the table here. These cars are being driven absolutely to the max. There's nothing left at all. And look at those conditions up there. Look at Tander. The thing was lurching up onto the top of the curb. Listen. Blasting through McPhillamy Park.
They've been working with their crews to get the cars right. They've been working with their engineers and their team bosses to get the strategies right. They get to the final section of this race and it's all up to them. From now on, this is driver versus driver. The only thing the guys in pit lane can do is just give them the support that they need. James Small in control of Mark Winterbottom's car. 12 months ago, he was taking on Mark Dutton as the man in David Reynolds' corner.
Look at this. Lowndes has now got in the tow behind Bright, who was the slowest on that last lap. He'll have a look. He'll have a look when they get to the braking area. Brighty's just moved across on him slightly. Not be close enough there, and it's high risk. Watch the last corner. Or even up at turn 2. Brighty dropped the left rear into the gravel. Tander's right there too. So Lowndes can't afford to go to sleep because Tander will have him. This is a mighty performance by all. They'll be absolutely monitoring every movement in the car to perfection. You can't afford to bop the rev limiter on a gear shift or you lose a
13
tenth.
to go, mate. 13 to go.
You've got to pick your braking reference points absolutely perfectly. And the fuel's bleeding down at about 4.5 litres per lap, so it's changing the behaviour of the car. The tyres are aging with every lap, but you might be also getting slightly better track condition as well to play with. Couldn't get it done at 2, but now Lowndes is on Bright, big time, and Whincup is on Winterbottom. The new generation cars have proven to be reliable. They've proven to be fast. We asked that question at the beginning of the day. They're racing well. And look at Tander. That would be a bold manoeuvre up there.
Well, that was the reverse. Remember, Lowndes almost made that manoeuvre on Tander at the end of the race in 2011. That was almost the opposite in terms of that exact position and that momentum.
What an incentive for Tander. He's got that pace underneath him and he can see it, he can feel it, he can taste it.
There'll be a move here. Oh, I thought he was going to have a dive and Lowndes had to block.
He covered. Angela Richards on screen there, Stephen's wife. She's watching, holding her breath. That's a face with stress on it.
Craig's vulnerable.
All the families up and down this pit bunker area here at the moment will be freaking out, not to mention everybody back in their factories. 30, 40, 50, 60 people involved in these various teams from a great variety of departments. They've all contributed over a long period of time. Oh, a bit of a moment for Bright. It slid in the back there in the chase.
4 Holdens versus the leader, the factory Ford with Mark Winterbottom battling Whincup, and Lowndes with the rear wheels locked on the way into the final corner, made it in, but only just. Tander's got a bit of a run on him. You've got to get into the next one clean because the passing manoeuvre will come here. He ran in there a little bit fast, Craig Lowndes, and a great run from Tander. You can see that Bright just dropped him off. Tander might be in contention to get alongside up here. He is. He's in the tow. He's just back about half a car length too far. 11.8, 11.8, 12.6, 12.5, 12.4. So the 2 leaders gained a little bit on Bright, Lowndes and Tander in that exchange because they were battling each other.
Oh, Tander up the inside of the cutting.
A crash! Oh my God, you can't get that done. You cannot get that done with those guys like that. If they make contact, both guys are in the fence.
And the pace now in this group is being regulated by Jason Bright. It's the reason why they're all doing the same lap speed. Garth has seen that move done over the years. We've all seen it, but the guys in front are too cagey. They're onto it.
But you know what's going to happen? It's going to force Lowndes to have a dive. The dive spot will be Forest Elbow. The spot that we've seen over the years. You've got to come off the dipper. You've got to come out of this section right now, right behind Jason Bright. That's what he's trying to do. This is the spot.
Will he have a look? Not this time around, he can't do it. Winner in 98, Jason Bright. 5-time winner, Craig Lowndes. 3-time Bathurst champion, Garth Tander. Between them, they've got more than 50 Bathurst starts, more than 1,400 career races under their belts. And they are slogging it out for a podium spot.
Oh, this is wild. He's almost down the inside. We just broke. I thought he was going to have a dive at the right-hand part then. Lowndes had a really good run coming out of Forest Elbow.
Whincup's all over the lead here as well. Tander searching for air. Keep in mind the cars are getting stinking hot. The brakes are getting stinking hot. And Bright is clinging on for all he's worth at the moment. So let's look at lap speed. It's an 11.8 for both Winterbottom and Whincup. 12.3, 12.3, 12.3 for Bright, Lowndes and Tander. 11.5 David Reynolds. He's now ranging into this battle in the Botlow car, and there he is. These three guys are holding each other up.
Your point's exactly right. Bright is the guy that's holding them up. He's half a second slower than Winterbottom and Whincup now. And Tander's on a dive. They're going to make contact. That is a very bold move. Lowndes massively wide.
Tander has shown and shown that he's prepared to take risks. His wife, Leanne, cheers him on. Nick Percat, who won here with Garth Tander.
And Scott Sinclair was the engineer on the left. Remember, young tyres on this car's putting it in pretty good shape. Next in the crosshairs for Garth Tander is Jason Bright. And Lowndes has really fared badly as a result of that. So GT flicked the lights on and he just jammed it up the inside at turn 2.
And don't worry, he won't be patient with Bright on this. He will have a dive straight away.
They tangled aggressively in Tasmania earlier in the year, these two. Absolutely no love lost between them on the racetrack.
He will have a lob straight away.
And Garth Tander isn't worried about the championship of 2013. He's worried about the Peter Brock Trophy. He can go for broke here.
A little bit too far back this time.
Winterbottom made 0.3 of a second to the second timing intermediate then at the lead of the race.
That's really hurt Lowndes' momentum.
Did you hear that in the background? Your tyres 8 laps better than Brighty. That's the encouraging message being sent to Garth Tander at the moment.
And how's the effort of Mark Winterbottom to hold off Jamie Whincup lap after lap after lap? While this battle has been raging behind them, these two cannot be separated. There's 0.5 of a second difference. And every time that Whincup wants to have a look, Frosty shuts the door. 2:11.6 for Winterbottom, 2:11.8 for Whincup. The same for Bright, and 11.6 for Tander. And that one, of course, hurt Craig Lowndes at 2:13.3.
That is a long way back.
That's a long way back. That's a mega dive. He just jammed it up there and got it done.
And look how wide he had to run to do it.
Leanne, his wife just goes berserk with that one. She's thrilled at that move. And this is a very, very big and important moment now for Mark Winterbottom. As we said before, he's never been on the podium here at Bathurst. A couple of 4th placings is it. And Ford Performance Racing and Mark Winterbottom and his teammate Stephen Richards are in with a shot.
Tander will not be patient on this. He knows he's got to get by. If he's any chance of winning this race, he can't be held behind Bright.